Hey, welcome back to Linux Mint. We're going to be looking at Linux Mint 19.2 and we're going to do an installation. So this is the follow-on video for the first video we created. We went through and we made a couple adjustments. So in this one, we're just going to go through and then install Linux Mint. So without further ado, let's do that. So you just booted Linux Mint 19.2 and you're in a virtual machine, or there actually could be a desktop, either way. So inside your virtual machine, you've got this install Linux Mint icon there. So we'll go ahead and, if you want to double click that or right click and choose open. Now, I double click things, of course, all the time, but if I double click at the video, it might be kind of hard to tell that I double clicked it. So sometimes I'll right click and I'll choose open. So just double click that, pops up, choose your language, continue. It'll want to wipe out the entire disk when we get to that point. And I'm going to say yes, yes, continue on my keyboard and things of this sort. And continue. And this is English based. If you're using a different language, then just pause this right here and go ahead and change that to your language. Erase disk and install Linux Mint. Absolutely, yes, install now. And once again, I recommend Linux Mint as your desktop OS. Linux Mint is definitely one of the top 5 desktop OSs for Linux. Should I say for any operating system on Earth right now. So it is an excellent desktop operating system. I've used well over 20 distributions since I started using Linux back in, I guess it would be 93. I guess it would be when we had a floppy disk. We had a root floppy and a boot and a root floppy disk. So we boot these up and you would have slip accounts that you would log in with your friends' computers or whatever it might be. So the number of distros I've used, there you go. Linux Mint is extremely good. Now, there are some others out there. There are Pop OS out there. Fedora is really kind of taking a back seat to the others, so I don't even mention that one anymore. I guess I just did. So you got Pop OS, you got Linux Mint. Sabayon used to be a thing back in the day. Arch Linux, of course, that's kind of an up-and-comer. It's a niche, kind of a niche or a niche player, kind of Linux right there. But over here, let's go ahead and set this up. I'll just make this student and workstation right there. Username, I'm going to make it password. So password. So right there. And my passwords don't match. So let's fix that. There we go. It's not going to matter because I'm going to say log in automatically. Now, I did choose to not encrypt my storage. If you're installing this on your own hardware, I encourage you, I really heavily encourage you to choose encryption, so that your drive, if it's a laptop or it's desktop, especially if it's a laptop, and you leave the laptop at your favorite coffee shop or someone breaks in and steals your desktop, whatever it might be. If it is fully encrypted and you've got a really solid password on that full disk encryption, then your data are safe. So everything, all your information on that system is going to be safe. This one that I did not choose encryption on here, and I have it log in automatically, and that is about as secure as a $20 bill taped to the bathroom floor. So that is not secure there as far as someone with physical access to your system. Now we talk about physical access to the system versus remote access. Yeah, even with choosing this with, I got a password, and it auto logs in, I'm still actually pretty secure against remote attacks. That's because it's not going to install a lot of services when it comes up that give any remote access to the box. Now, having said that, it is a bad idea to have a password and have any kind of remote access to your system. I would recommend, if you're going to do that, use SSH keys so that someone will come in via SSH keys. Don't allow password authentication, and then if you're running services on it, then make sure those services are secure, and go through whatever security firm or whatever methodology that you want to go through to make sure those systems do stay secure. Now, as this is installing, I could go play a game or whatever else. It's saying it's installing stuff. I can go, oh, maybe I want to play with the display, go to settings. Let's see, go down and change my display. Well, I got 16 by 10. Let's see, I got 16 by 9 anywhere over there. 16, 10, 16. There we go. 16, 9. I'll choose that one. Apply. All right. Yeah, keep that one. All of this is going on. I'm doing all this while the system is installing. So I could actually go compose a document. I could surf the web. I could create a video. Go over here and go calculate something. I can go into a spreadsheet and do whatever I want to do while the software is installing. And no, if you're doing this and field 01, whatever it might be, and so you got our columns and different rows, etc. You go through and you set this kind of thing up. And this is LibreOffice. I'm not a big fan of the LibreOffice calc. I like numeric, but I am a big fan of the free Office suite and their interoperability that they use. So there we go. We got LibreOffice there. That I can just go in and pop some stuff in. I can choose to save it if I want to. I would have to save it out and onto a file and transfer it to myself, or pop in a USB and save it that way, because I am installing, so I can't save it to the local disk right now. But as this system is installing, this is actually something that you can just use it while it's installing. There's nothing prohibiting you from installing applications while this thing is installing. Well, I guess installing some applications. If you're going to do apt-get and a couple of things like that, you may have some problems. But there's nothing that stops you from these kind of things. It's just a really good system. Having said that, this install, I just remembered I am installing this to a USB. This virtual machine is running over on my USB plugged into my computer right now. And so it is taking a lot longer than I'm used to waiting. As we watch this kind of thing go through, it is taking its time. VLC and media player included in Linux Mint there. You can see some software that's included. If you want some good photo editing software for Linux Mint or Linux in general, Pixeluvo is good. So Pixeluvo, that's some good software. It's solid. CorelDRAW, if you want to go to Corel, I think it's, what is it called? Corel something Pro. What is that thing? Let me see if I can find that anywhere. Corel Aftershot, that's it. Corel Aftershot Pro, and that gives you the same sort of capabilities as Adobe Lightroom. So I'm a huge fan of Lightroom as far as the capabilities inside of Lightroom. I do not like the cloud pricing that Lightroom's there, but I just want to be as authentic as possible and tell you the features in Lightroom. I just really like the features inside Lightroom. But if you want to use something that is that's good solid software, then you can look at Corel and Aftershot 3, I think is the most recent one, and Pixeluvo 1.6 is I think the most recent one there. So we can see. We actually try to go surf the web here while we're doing this and find out. See if Pixeluvo comes on. Yeah, there we go. Pixeluvo, and we can go through and download. And it says it detected that I'm using Linux there, so it's like, yeah, go ahead and download. And there's 1.6, and you can choose which version of Linux you're using there. And the other one's going to be, what was that? Corel Aftershot. I'll just say Linux. And it is doing Yahoo search, which makes me cringe a little bit. So I can see the links there. We have support, etc. that are coming up. So I can grab this. Now this is continue testing, restart now. You got the idea about Corel Aftershot. Let's go ahead and say restart now. Now, when I choose this restart now option, it is going to reboot my machine, automatically log me in, and give me a desktop. It is fantastic. So this is not something where I'm going to have to go through and I'll just press enter on that. Please remove it. Just press enter. If you want to, you can go to devices and you can go to optical drives. You can say remove, but it'll remove it automatically for you. It's going to do all of this automatically. So rebooting this machine will come back up. The machine will be completely viable. So you'll have, given this is the first time installed 19.2. So could there be a problem? Yeah. If you want to see things that are happening, press escape during the startup screen there, that splash screen that comes up. Press escape and you can actually see what happens in the background. So there you go. Now you're installing Linux Mint 19.2 and you got the splash screen. Once that pops up, press escape and it will show you what services is starting in the background. And that's going to be something now. might help if you've got different video drivers or different things, services like NFS, or let's say you changed your fstab and you, instead of putting the defaults in 00, or you put like a 11, and now it won't mount because of a certain NFS share is not available. There you go. So this thing is booting up. Let's see if we can get this thing started. This is the first boot. You can see the hard drive running like crazy, which this is running really slow for me right now because I do have that directory mounted over on a USB drive on my system. So I'm suffering some performance issues here in my virtual machine. But you can see by the little green light in the hard drive there that we've got a lot of reading going on. The little red blinking is a lot of writing going on, and so it is working on it. It is trying to get that stuff across. I'm going to kind of stretch this thing across the screen. There we go. So it says check your video drivers. It's you know, you want to do that, we can click that. Wants the password for that, so I'll type password and go ahead and pop in, and we can look at what it thinks my video driver should be. It's going through updating the cache. Now, over here, welcome to Linux Mint. If you look down there, you notice that I've got to hover over these things again. I start my files, and when I start the files, I click that, it just goes away. Oh, you know, I don't like that. So I'm going to go over and choose first steps, and I'm going to scroll down. Hello. Grab a little scroll bar over here. Ah, my resolution's so low I can't get the scroll bar. Let me fix my resolution first. So I'll go over here and grab the display settings, and we'll fix the resolution, and then I can grab the scroll bar and fix my my settings from modern to traditional. Yeah, 800 by 600. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll increase this to something a little bit better. So we'll choose 1920 by 12 and apply. Get something that's usable there, and I'll keep that. And then over in the video here, I'll just kind of take this and stretch it out to the screen so it all fits there in the entire video window. So we've got this. I've got my display set, so let's close that out. I'm going to go over and grab that little menu, scroll down, choose traditional, let that do its thing. It takes a second for it to come around. All right, did it. Got that. And over here, it's saying we got some video driver issues. You want the manually installed driver, and we got this manually installed driver. Yeah, we could. I'm noticing it's got the VirtualBox guest service driver that's built into this now, which is, you know, pretty nice. It's given us some pretty cool options there. So we'll have to go look at that at maybe a later time. But there you go. Now we have Linux Mint installed. I can go over to themes, and I'll see if we've got any special icons or things we can do with our theme selections that will make this look a little bit better. But that is all flipping through and kind of just enjoying the experience there with Linux Mint to see how you like that. There, we got it installed. It's done. Hope that you liked the video. Look forward to talking to you sometime. Pop me messages anytime. And of course, you reach me on Telegram. It's the @ Paul W. Poteet, or you can pop in the messages inside of YouTube. Look forward to talking to you again some other time.